Josh first asked me, oh, sorry. I'm a singer, so I tend to put my microphone here, so I'll move back a little bit. When Josh first asked me to be his best man, and I was thinking about this speech that I was going to give, I was thinking, man, how do I consolidate 26 years worth of friendship? Because that's what he's been. And, there's a video somewhere of me going to the hospital and seeing Josh for the first time 26 some years ago. And I saw it when I was a kid, and I remember thinking, oh, that was me meeting Josh for the first time, but I had no idea the kind of impact that was going to have on my life, and that I was meeting one of my best friends for the rest of my life, and that he was always there for me. And one of the things I always remember about Josh is Josh always beat me at everything. Like everything. Like it wasn't even a question. I mean, he was just always so competitive, and he was always like, I'm going to win, and he did. And so we went to sign up for b-ball one year, and Josh wasn't old enough, and I didn't really even want to play b-ball, but I signed up because I knew it would make Josh cry that he couldn't sign up and I could. So I did do that. And also, there was another time, I remember he was probably like 5, I was probably like 7, and we were having Bible study at my house with a whole bunch of teenagers, and my dad was leading the Bible study, and he put all these teenage kids in a giant circle in our living room, and he put boxing gloves on the both of us, and let us duke it out in the ring. And of course, I got the crap beat out of me, because Josh beat me at everything. So it was just really terrible experience for me that I was probably scarred for life. He was always the guy who was an instigator. He always was a deal maker and always trying to get the upper hand over people. And my mom used to say that he was the one who never got in trouble, even though he kind of instigated all the problems in our family. Jacob was always getting in trouble, by the way, getting mad at Josh for things he was doing, and Josh was just like, what? I don't know what I did. Josh was this high-energy kid. He drove his teachers crazy. His favorite word for a long time was naked. We don't really know why. But he just go, naked, just like that, all the time, and we have no idea why he did that, but he did. And of course, if you've never had dinner at the Madas household and witnessed the Joshua-Joel combo of humor, it is the best. If you've never witnessed the Joshua-Joel combo of humor at dinner, that was definitely something that you'd want to see, because it's pretty funny. There was one time we were going on a road trip, and Josh and Joel were going down there, and we wanted to stop at this restaurant called Bojangles. Does anyone know that restaurant down in the South? I don't know if you guys do or not, but it's called Bojangles. So Josh and Joel came up with this little tune. It goes something like, go Bojangles, go. Go Bojangles, go. And they just thought it was the funniest thing ever. We have no idea why. I think it was just us being cooped up in the car for more than 10 hours. Josh was also a ladies' man when he was growing up. And I remember there was... I'm sorry. Let me be more specific. The girls really like Josh. So I remember my mom, and I'll tell this story for my mother because she's not able to speak for you, but my mom always used to tell this story about Josh running home after being outside playing with a whole bunch of his friends for a while, and he'd slam the door shut and he'd be like, I'm not here. And he'd run up to his room, and my mom was like, what the heck is going on here? And then she'd answer the door. There'd be a ding-dong at the doorbell, and then he'd answer the door, and there was standing at the doorbell. And she was like, can Josh come out and play? And my mom was like, no, he can't come out and play. And of course, Josh was always the one that was, I didn't really feel like the older brother in the department of girls. He was always the one giving me the advice, staying up nights, and giving me things, and he still kind of does. And of course, when we... a lot of you know we had a really big move when I was 16 years old from Danville to Kingsley, and Josh was just a huge rock in our family. We really grew closer through that experience, the 5 of us through that experience, and Josh was just really an awesome person to kind of stick through us all through all that. He's also a sensitive guy. I remember one time I looked under his bed when I was a kid, and he had 2 notebooks, and one was full of poetry. I don't know if any of you know this, but Josh is really good with words. And he also had another notebook which had a whole bunch of dream teams, NBA dream teams, and it was really, really cool to see that. And he caught me one time looking through it, and he was like, "You're not supposed to look at these." And it was a very private thing for him, but it just shows the kind of person he is deep down. And not only that, but he's also a huge encourager. That's another characteristic that I've come to admire in him. And there was one time he called me. He called me one time just to tell me, he appreciated my leadership in our family. I remember that conversation very, very vividly, and I just remember thinking, I don't feel like I've really led you. I never really thought about you as my little brother, Josh. You've always been just the guy who was second in command, and we just kind of ran things together. And so I really appreciate the fact that you admired me like that, because I've never really thought of myself as being a role model for you. And that was really awesome. And then he sent me a letter after he asked me to be his best man, and it was awesome. It was just this great, encouraging letter, just telling me how much he appreciated me willing to stand next to him on his big day. And it was just such an encouraging thing, and I really appreciate you, Josh. Of course, I really appreciate Emily, too, and everything you bring to Josh and his life, and also just Deb and Mike. You guys have just opened your doors to me personally as an individual, not even in my family. Like, let's not forget them. Like, you guys have opened doors to me, too. And that's just so cool to see you guys welcome me in and my family in. I'm just so excited about what's going to happen with the two of them, and also with the two of our families, and just as we continue to hang out together and become closer friends. I'm so excited for that. And I'd like to close with one of my favorite quotes from Coach Paterno. A lot of you know that I'm a big Penn State fan. And so Coach Paterno, don't even. Coach Paterno said, believe down deep in your heart that you're destined to do great things. And I know you guys are destined to do great things. I'm so excited to see where life is going to take you guys, how things are going to go for you. So raise your glasses, please. Let's drink a toast to Joshua and Emily and the future they have together.